Hello students. Today let's discuss about the next phylum, that is phylum Chordata. So we have already discussed about 10 different phylums starting from phylum Porifera. Hope you all remember those phylums. We have discussed already about the characteristics of those phylums, and each phylum has certain unique characteristics. Now in today's class, let's discuss about phylum Chordata. So all those phylum prior to phylum Chordata, those organisms are commonly called as nonchordates. Nonchordates. Right? Now, let's see what are the characteristic features of phylum Chordata. The first and the foremost feature of phylum Chordata is the presence of a notochord. I think you have heard the term notochord. What is notochord? Notochord is nothing but a rod-like structure which forms the main support in lower chordates. So notochord is found only in chordates. It's not found in non-chordates. So in the previous phylums, we have never discussed about this structure called as notochord. So notochord is a unique feature which is found only in phylum Chordata. Hope it's clear. So the first characteristic feature is presence of notochord. The second feature, presence of dorsal tubular hollow nerve cord. That is the nervous system. It is tubular, it is hollow, it is dorsal, and three features that you have to remember. That is, the nerve cord is dorsal, tubular, and hollow. When we discussed about phylum Annelida, do you remember what is the peculiarity of nervous system in annelids? Right, it is ventral, single, right, and it's not hollow, it's solid. Ventral, single, and solid. So, nerve cord or the nervous system is single, ventral, and solid in the case of non-chordates, whereas in the case of chordates, the nerve cord will be, or the nervous system will be dorsal, tubular, and hollow. The third important feature is the presence of pharyngeal gill slits. Means near the pharynx we find gill slits, mean small openings, okay, which helps in respiration. Then another important feature is they are bilaterally symmetrical. You know what's the meaning of bilateral symmetry? They are triploblastic, means they have three embryonic layers. And they are coelomates, means they have a true body cavity lined by mesoderm. Hope it's clear? Right. And the circulatory system is closed type, means what? They have blood vessels. The blood will be pumped by the heart and it flows through blood vessels like arteries, veins, and capillaries. Right? And the next important feature is the presence of a post-anal tail. Means behind the anus there will be a small tail. So these are some of the characteristic features of phylum Chordata. So let's fast recollect which are the features. First one, presence of notochord, presence of dorsal tubular hollow nerve cord, then presence of pharyngeal gill slits, bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and they are coelomates. Circulatory system is closed type, presence of post-anal tail, and the presence of ventral heart. Heart will be present and it will be located ventrally. So these are the characteristic features of phylum Chordata. Now, these features can be represented in the form of a diagram. Okay. So here you can see this diagram shows the characteristic features. So here you can see a long rod-like structure which is called as a notochord, and this is a dorsal hollow nerve cord. Above the notochord you find the dorsal hollow nerve cord. So what's the function of notochord? Its function is to give support, a kind of endoskeleton. Then you find pharyngeal gill slits. These are the gill slits, and this is the anus. Behind that there will be a tail. Behind the anus there is a tail. That is why it's called as post-anal tail. And heart is ventral. Hope it's clear the characteristic features of chordates. Okay. Now, after studying the characteristic features of chordates, let us see the differences between chordates and non-chordates. Very important from examination point of view. Many a times this will be asked as a 5-mark question. Write the differences between chordates and non-chordates. Very easy, right? So, chordates, the first point, you know, notochord is present. So, in non-chordates it will be, notochords will be absent. Then here, in the case of chordates, the central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single. Here it will be ventral, solid and double. Right? Then pharynx is perforated by gill slits, or you can write pharyngeal gill slits are present. Here gill slits are absent. Gill slits are not found. Then here heart is ventral. Here heart is dorsal if present. What's the meaning of that? Heart is not found in all the non-chordates. In some non-chordates we find the heart. If heart is present, it will be dorsal. Then a post-anal tail is present. Here post-anal tail is absent. So very important from examination point of view, comparison of chordates and non-chordates. Hope it's clear? Right? Okay. Then let's move on to the next. Phylum Chordata is divided into again subphylums, divisions and classes. You have to study this. So in the previous classes we discussed about the classification of kingdom Animalia. Do you remember that classification of kingdom Animalia based on a level of organization, symmetry, body cavity, and so on, and body wall and so on, right? And we have seen that the kingdom Animalia is divided into different phylums. Now in that phylum Chordata is the 11th phylum. Now this phylum Chordata is again divided into subphylums. There are 3 subphylums of phylum Chordata. Which are they? The first one, Urochordata, also called as tunicata, Cephalocordata and vertebrata. So these are the 3 subphylums of phylum Chordata. Which are they? Urochordata, Cephalocordata and vertebrata. Hope it's clear? Urochordata, Cephalocordata and vertebrata. Now this subphylum vertebrata is again divided into 2 divisions. These are the 2 divisions, that is Agnatha and Gnathostromata. Agnatha and Gnathostromata. Agnatha means without jaws and Gnathostromata means with jaws. You know what is jaw, right? Right. So Agnatha, they are jawless and Gnathostromata are with jaws. So these 2 are the divisions. Now under Agnatha, there is only one class, which is class Cyclostromata. Class Cyclostromata. So if we have to write the classification of class Cyclostromata, you have to start from there. You have to write kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, division Agnatha and class Cyclostromata. Hope it's clear? Classification of Cyclostromata, from where you have to start, kingdom Animalia, then phylum Chordata, subphylum Vertebrata, then division Agnatha and class Cyclostromata. Now, Gnathostromata, so there is only one division and there is only one class under division Agnatha. Whereas Gnathostromata, under division Gnathostromata, there are 2 super classes. One is Piscis, another one is Tetrapoda. Piscis and Tetrapoda. Now superclass Piscis is again divided into 2 classes, right? That is Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. What is this word? Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes. Right? You may find all these words difficult, but as we go on discussing, all these terms will be easy for you. Right? Then, superclass Tetrapoda. Tetra means 4, podos means foot. So, 4 legs. Right? So, superclass Tetrapoda is again divided into 4 different classes. Class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves and class Mammalia. Hope it's clear? So, phylum Chordata is divided into 3 subphylums. Subphylum Urochordata, subphylum Cephalocordata and subphylum vertebrata. Right? Now, subphylum vertebrata is again divided into two divisions, Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Agnatha is again divided into a single class. It is under Agnatha there is only single class, and that is Cyclostomata. Whereas under Gnathostomata there are two superclasses. One is species, one is Tetrapoda. Under superclass species there are two classes. One is Chordates, another one is Ostectes. And under Tetrapoda there are four classes: class Amphibia, class Reptilia, class Aves, and class Mammalia. Hope it's clear? Right. Now let's discuss about the two subphylums today. One is subphylum Urochordata. Uro means tail. Uro means tail. Urochordata. They are also called as subphylum Tunicata. Urochordata or subphylum Tunicata. Now, what's a peculiar feature of this Urochordata? In Urochordata, notochord is present, but it is found only in the tail region of the larvae. They are not found in the adult organism. Okay, it is found only in the tail region of the larval form. That is why they are called as tail chordates. Okay, so subphylum Urochordata, the only one feature you have to remember, that is the notochord is present only in the larval tail. Hence they are called as tail chordates. And you have to remember three examples. One is Ascidia, Salpa and Doliolum. Ascidia, Salpa and Doliolum. Right? You can see all that examples here. So this is Ascidia. Right? Then this is Salpa. You must have seen Salpa near the seashore, right? And this is Dolium. It's a transparent fish-like structure, right? It's not a fish. It's a transparent structure. So here you can see in the tail region you find a notochord. Not here because this is a adult form. In larval form you will find a notochord in the tail region. Hope it's clear. So that is a feature of subphylum Urochordata. Isn't it easy to remember? Uro means tail. Remember like this. Uro means tail. So tail chordates. They are also called as tunicata. Why tail chordates? Because they have notochord only in the larval tail. Okay. So now we move on to the next subphylum, which is that Cephalocordata. From the word cephalization we have studied, right? So what is that? Head chordates. Subphylum Cephalocordata, they are called as head chordates. There is a reason for that. Here, the notochord is found in both adult form as well as larval form, and the notochord extends from the head to the tail, means throughout the body, from the head region till the tail region, you find the notochord. And this notochord is present throughout their lifestyle, throughout their life, means it is not substituted by vertebral column. When we discuss about the next phylum, that will be clear. So here notochord is present throughout its life. We find the notochord, and it is from the head to the tail, and that is why they are commonly referred to as head chordates. So urochordates are called as tail chordates and cephalochordates are called as head chordates. Example, branchiostoma. Only one example you have to remember. Branchiostoma, also called as amphioxus or lancelet. So this is that organism, amphioxus or lancelet. So they have a notochord which extends from head to the tail region, and it is persistent throughout their life. Hope it's clear. Yes or no? So subphylum Cephalocordata, I hope you all understood. So two subphylums we have discussed now. One is Urochordata and one is Cephalocordata. So Urochordata members, they are commonly called as tail chordates, and Cephalocordata, they are called as head chordates. Hope it's clear. Thank you.